So DDG has filed a emergency motion to stop Halle Bailey from taking their infant son out of the country. She's claiming she poses an imminent emotional and psychological risk to the child. The rapper claims and files documents Wednesday morning asking for emergency hearing because he says Halle has made plans to fly with their son, Halo, to Italy on Saturday. DDG says the court shouldn't allow this because Halle isn't mentally healthy enough to care for herself or the child. And he worries what she might do if she leaves the court's jurisdiction. DDG provides examples of the alleged conduct he thinks is troubling, claiming Halle once took his gun and left the house without telling him where she was going. DDG alleges he ultimately found her outside just holding a weapon. He says she was pregnant when the incident went down. He says Halle once tried to have an abortion behind his back, but says she ultimately changed her mind and decided not to go through with it. On another occasion, 2 months after Halo was born, DDG claims Halle sent a series of alarming text messages threatening to herself and suggesting that their infant son Halo might also be harmed. As you know, DDG has been accused of abusive behavior in the past by her, including once where her face was allegedly slammed into a steering wheel and she received a chipped tooth. But DDG is telling a different story of the events, claiming he came to pick up Halo for his custodial time. Halle jumped into the backseat when he did, demanded they come up with a formal co-parenting schedule. He alleges she became so agitated she started jumping from the backseat to hit him. Again, her momentum carried her forward and she smacked her own teeth into the steering wheel. In fact, DDG says he was the one on the receiving end of the abuse by Halle, including photos of a large cut on his hand, which he said Bailey caused. DDG is asking the judge to block Halle from taking Halo to Italy. He also wants sole legal and physical custody of their son. If not granted sole custody, then he wants all the custodial exchanges facilitated by a third party. We reach out to Halle for word or comment. So far, no comment. Yo, Fruit Jams in the chat. What up? Yo, let me tell y'all this. When you listen to niggas like Dr. Umar and shit like that, they tell you only white women do this shit to you. This is the only reason why I gotta say, Dr. Umar, we gotta talk to you, brother. Because when we listen to y'all brothers, y'all say niggas like Shannon Sharp only get done like that by the snow bunnies. As if it was a sister, she don't paint you as a violent beast. That's what Halle's doing to DDG. We got to clear that up. This idea that black women let you rock out and white women put you in jail. No, bitches put you in jail. Let's just keep it a beat. Chat. Tory in jail getting stabbed, Megan's twerking. Pop that. It don't matter black or white. As long as they got a vagina, they get you in jail, chat. That's a fact. What I'm saying is, Dr. Umar, we need to talk to you about this because you've been jacking this for a long time. The black woman will also paint you out like a violent beast when it suits her. It's not black, white, this, that. It's all about the character of that particular woman. DDG's own baby mama has now, in trying to wrestle custody for the kid and to say he's unfit to be a parent for his own child, is now saying, look, they just brutally beat down somebody on TikTok. They had a fight. Don't give him custody. They told me only white women did this. I need some answers. Dr. Umar, you said no bunny hopping for the summer. We have seized bunny hopping. It's a tariff on bunny hopping right now, okay? But I'm going to keep it a bean with you. If for 1 second y'all believe that move that was happened to Shannon Sharp won't happen if you dealt with a black chick, you are sadly mistaken. And Dr. Umar and the people who peddle that type of fuckery, they need to stand accountable for that. Your Fruit Jams in the chat. What up? On or about June 6th, the petitioner contacted me, complaining she was bleeding and in pain. In an effort to assist, I contacted her OBGYN and learned that the petitioner had attempted to abort the baby but had failed to take the second abortion dose. Oh my God. Petitioner said the baby was unharmed and informed me that she began attending multiple medical appointments in efforts to reassure me. Okay, so looks like she takes the first pill. She's supposed to take the second pill, but before that happens, they get into an argument because DDG didn't know. He said, what the fuck you doing? Looks like she goes to the hospital or goes to the doctor, and then they try to reverse the first pill that the pregnancy could still continue. That's crazy. Like, the first pill is to stop the pregnancy. So it's like getting bit by a snake and then trying to apply antidote. Not necessarily, but just to, something you're trying to reverse. An antidote is like the anti-venom, Wow, so look like she takes a pill to end the pregnancy, which normally in regular situations, in like 48 hours, that baby is no longer living. let me not say no longer living, it's no longer receiving nutrients and whatever it needs from the body to live, but looked like they went to the doctor and they get something to reverse it, and that was Halle. According to DDG, he thinks that's manipulation. She was going to kill the baby that DDG wanted, and she says, well, I'm killing it, and I'm going to take these last pills if you don't stay with me, and we don't work it out. And he says, no, I want the baby, and says, all right, well, listen, I could go to the doctor and get it reversed. She goes to the doctor, and she's assuring him through medical appointments, like, no, the baby's unharmed. Like, I'm still going to have the baby. Wow. That's some manipulation right there. That's manipulation. Yo, Fruit Jams in the chat. What up? During the petitioner's pregnancy from April to December 2023, I found Apple AirTags in my vehicle. Upon discovering these devices, I realized the petitioner was using these devices to stalk and surveil me. I did not become aware that petitioner was tracking my movements until I began receiving persistent and unfamiliar AirTag notifications on my electronic device. It became evident during the petitioner I've been using AirTags to stalk and monitor my whereabouts, together with my mother and her fiance, who also serves as my driver. So DDG's mom and DDG's mom's fiance, George, who serves as the driver, we discovered the AirTags concealed in all three of my vehicles: a Rolls Royce, a Maybach, and an Escalade. DDG, welcome to the club. You ain't in love until you find some real shit, man. Shit, I found. It's about DDG. Come on. George and I frequently received alerts indicating that you have an unknown AirTag that was moving with us. Despite multiple attempts to prompt the device to emit an audible sound to identify it, it remained undetected until later inspection by George and my mother. On one occasion during the pregnancy, an AirTag was found by my mother hidden inside a vitamin bottle stored in the trunk. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. On another occasion, it was discovered by a close female friend of mine, tucked within a baby bottle holder. Each time the AirTag was located, it was promptly removed and discarded. The repeated placement of these devices demonstrates a clear and disturbing pattern of stalking and surveillance without my knowledge and consent, of all of which further contributed to my sense of fear, violation, and lack of privacy. Following our child's birth, petitioner emotional volatility continued to increase. She frequently went through my phone without permission while asleep, using what she found to start confrontation. These incidents occurred during a period of time when petitioner and I were in an on and off again relationship. Despite the instability between us, I made a concerted effort to maintain the relationship and provide a sense of stability. Fruit Jams in the chat. What up? Like, a domestic violence restraining order is very serious. DDG has to surrender his weapons to law enforcement once he's served. As soon as the judge signs off on that and a police officer shows up to his property to serve him, whatever weapons, they actually have a warrant to seize all weapons. And they tell him he has to turn over all weapons. So now his right, or his Second Amendment right, the right to bear arms, is now impeded by a temporary restraining order that is not even fully litigated. If someone had broken into DDG's house, he could have harmed him because now he doesn't have a gun that he could protect himself. So you see how when someone files a restraining order, sometimes, especially when they're now making decisions about your kid, the only way you could combat this, you got to get your own restraining order. I discovered the petitioner had been using a hidden Apple AirTag in my vehicle to monitor my location, which explains how she knew who I was that evening. Petitioner entered the theater and immediately began shouting profanities in a loud, disruptive manner for all to hear. Daryl! Daryl, I know you see me, Daryl! Doo-doo garbage, get over here! I know you're in here! Doo-doo garbage, where are you? That's how, when, y'all ever been, like, my mama and grandma used to embarrass the fuck out of us when we stayed too late at school. Or, like, we went to a party and we were supposed to be back at a certain time. Like, you trying to sink in the wall. Your parent come and be like, yo, somebody parent is here. They pass the mic to your mom. Livingston! Like, you're like, oh my God. Yo, all of a sudden your homie's looking at you. Ain't your name Livingston? Your Fruit Jams in the chat. What up? There's no doubt I was emotionally devastated in 2022 and 2023 by his behavior and ongoing abuse. Oh man. Trigger word, abuse. I've been very vocal about my anxiety, depression, and previous thoughts of suicide. So she's confident. She's like, yeah. I did think about myself. What's up? What's the problem? Okay. She said, without waiving the psychotherapist patient privilege and the physician patient privilege, I've reached out to my doctor and received treatment to address these issues. So she says she's went to a therapist or sought treatment through a doctor. I've been and remain 100% available and capable as a parent to our son Halo. Had Daryl really been concerned about my parenting, he would have taken prior action to this time. He's never saw custody orders or any orders protecting Halo until today, the day that my DVRO was set. Okay, most of Daryl's alleged incidents took place in 2022 and 2023. It's now 2025 in June. But he makes no specific allegations about incidents of his own claims about an incident that took place in January 2025. Yet Daryl did not seek any orders of protection or custody until now, near 5 months later. Chat, let me tell you this. Word to the wise. Big Act has been writing this whole case. This is why us men, you arguing with your girl, if you think it's going there, you either motherfucking leave or you call the cops first. What she is saying is, I told on him first. He coming after the fact. I told y'all he hit me. Fuck what he's saying. Why he ain't say it first? And unfortunately, the courts, when it comes to family court, because remember, domestic violence goes to family court. They're going to look at the woman and believe her statements about, oh, I've been getting beat, just like the Cassie thing. Cassie, why you only telling us now in 2023? That's when she filed. And testify in 2025. Even though you were getting beat and violating and whatever for 15 years. Don't matter. Your Fruit Jams in the chat. What up? DDG attorney released the following statement to XXL, opposing the prior reports that the rapper was denied a temporary restraining order. Yeah, that was erroneous, but they denied his emergency motion. That's a fact. So the kid's still going to Italy. Both of them have restraining orders against each other. See, that was weird to deny. If one person says the other person shouldn't hit me up, and then the other person says, well, tell that person not to hit me up, you should grant both of their motions to figure it out. We now find out that's happened. What they have denied is that they're not going to stop the mom from bringing the kid to Italy. The court has granted Mr. Granberry a temporary restraining order based on the serious allegations set forth in the application. The issuance of this order reflects the court's findings that there is sufficient cause to provide immediate legal protection while the matters proceed. At this time, custody-related issues remain pending. So basically, pending means they're not stopping Halle from bringing the kid to Italy, and are subject to a full evidentiary hearing, which is going to be later, where both parties will have the opportunity to present claims and defenses. Halle already told the court that she's going to be out of the country till August. They're not going to have this hearing before August. So it's going to be after August, and that means the kid hasn't seen DDG for 2 months, and he hasn't been around the kid for 2 months, and he can't talk to her for 2 months. These are highly sensitive matters involving a minor and child, and Mr. Granberry remains committed to resolving them in the public and appropriate legal channels, not the court of public opinion. Unfortunately, y'all both famous. Y'all both have brought some aspects of this online. So whether y'all want it or not, it will be talked about in the court of public opinion. I know at some point both of y'all wanted it to be private, but eventually it was not. And I do think that things like this should be handled private because it's better off for both parties and the kid, but didn't happen like that. Your Fruit Jams in the chat. What up?